I'm an alien sent from outer space, that's who I be. Sent with a message for the human race, that's who I.
This is all about you, sir. And welcome to the A.L.I.E.Nation Show. I'm so excited because I feel like this is a full circle moment
Yes, it is.
because I was on Taste Test and I was your guest and then became a co-host.
You were my co-host.
Yeah, but I started as a guest first, right? So
Okay, yeah.
now that's what I'm saying, full circle moment,
Yes.
and I'm super excited to, be able to interview you because you got a lot going on. And so I really want people to hear about the Damian Lamar and everything that you, Mr. Multi-hyphenate, is that hyphenate?
Multi-potentialite.
Potentialite.
Yes, I'm a simultaneous multi-potentialite.
Okay, you have to explain that later.
Yeah, I don't know if I have my book in here. Yes, my book is upstairs. Yes, I'm trying to think. Oh, yes, here it is. So, this is the book. It's by the author. Her name is Emily Wapnick, and I saw her TED Talk on. I'm so late to the party because I think her TED Talk was from 2006 or 16 or something. Like, anyways, it was way out. It was old, and she was just talking about how there's so many people that have, like for me, lots of irons in the fire. And one of my quotes is, the creator, I wear lots of hats because the creator likes to keep me stylish. And I was told for years and years and years that it's just, like you're just doing the most. You just need to pick one thing. What is it that you do again? You just do so much. I don't know,
Right.
and societal pressures and norms make it feel like you are like something's wrong with you, or you like shouldn't be doing that. Like, oh, when you grow up, you should just be a doctor and just focus on that and go to law school and just be a lawyer, and that's what you're gonna be for the rest of your life. Well, I like a lot of things because the creator puts a lot of hats on me because he knows that I can rock them.
Right.
So I can do things simultaneously. So there is a simultaneous multi-potentialite, and then there's a serial multi-potentialite. So there's people who know how to do a lot of things, but they can only do, let's say they're going to do accounting and they're going to stick with accounting. And then they go, oh, I'm going to do websites. And they'll do websites. And they go, oh, I can cook. And then they'll just do cooks. I can do accounting, website, cook, everything at the same time. I'm one of those people. But I know for me, learning to not take on too much and keeping the main thing is what's important.
Well,
Got to keep the main thing.
I think that's so dope because you're right, and this is so like you're hitting on what I want to discuss because this goes in line with the alienation, right? Because what you're talking about is unlearning what we've been taught
Mm-hmm.
so that you can reach your fullest potential. And
Yes.
I feel like that is exactly what the alienation is about, what the community and the movement, what I want people to get from it. So we're going to start off the show first before we get into that because we can talk all night.
Yes, we can. You know it. Yes.
And be in this black hole of bliss. You hear me? So what I like to do is just kind of explain to people what the acronym means and then ask you which letter of the acronym. It can be multiple since you're
Okay.
simultaneous,
Yes.
energy. So alien is authentically living, intrinsically evolving naturally.
I'm an alien then. I'm a I just am not green. I don't have,
Right.
I got big ears, but I don't have yeah. I can
So
speak a couple languages, but
so where do you feel in that acronym? Like, do you feel like you're one letter right now? You feel like you all
mm,
of them? What you
yeah, I said I'm an alien. Like every last one of them. I definitely am authentically living
yeah.
intentionally. And what's the E?
Intrinsically evolving
Intrinsically, intrinsically evolving. Yes, absolutely. And now,
naturally. Yeah.
naturally, and now, yes.
Yeah.
Um, that's just who I am. That I don't know any other way to be. because life would be boring if I didn't. And I believe in authenticity. One, because you got to show up as the real you.
Right.
People, especially in 2022, we real recognize real, and we spot fake miles away. We can
Right.
see that, right? So I
Right.
think we've evolved to that level. Living intrinsically, yes, which means it just comes naturally to some people,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
right? And evolving, evolution is required. It's a required. You have to evolve, and I won't go into the semantics about whether people believe in evolution or not, but I do believe that you evolve. Growth forces you to evolve. Change forces you to evolve,
It does.
and yeah, naturally being real. I mean, just not being fake, being your
Yeah.
authentic self and living your best life in right now
Right.
is what it is. So
Well, and
I'm an alien. Yeah.
alien. No.
Serious.
Well, I thank you so much for sharing that, because one thing that I love is that, so all of those words, although they're big words, they all mean something one at a time. And I think a part of this is because was not authentically myself for so long, and I
Mm-hmm.
did not allow the things that were intrinsically, which, like you said, not that which is naturally in me, I would not allow it
Yes.
to come out, because, like how you were talking about being this simultaneous creative, this, you can handle which means that you can creatively multitask in a successful way,
Right.
as long as you're focused, and you hone in right on all those things. And like, when but growing up, we're told you're either A, you're either B, you're either C. And the other day I realized that this is why people are depressed. This is why people, desire to, some people become suicidal, because when you're told all your life you cannot be yourself, like if you
Mm-hmm.
intrinsically feel, like for me, I intrinsically am a creative, but I was forced to be intellectual. Now, I can
Mm-hmm.
be intellectual, because I've honed that muscle, but I would so much prefer to be a creative 24.
Right.
Like, let me just crank out the ideas. Let me just crank out
Yeah.
the ideas, and then come in and make sure everything's together. Oh, you got that? Okay. That sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, tell me some more about, like, when did you decide it was okay to be this simultaneous potential light? Is that what you said?
Multi-potentialite. Yes.
Multi,
Multi-potentialite.
multi. Okay, it's even
Yeah.
more.
A person that's got a lot of potential to do a multitude of things. When did I discovered that, and for a long time, I was calling myself jack of all trades. Actually, I didn't call myself that. People called me that. And I was calling myself a polymath, Polymath, polymath. That's
Right,
a
I remember
person that
that.
can.
Yep.
I was saying for a while, and I'm like, you know what? I was told it's never okay to be a self-professed polymath. You can let other people tell you you're a polymath, but don't you go around telling people that.
Right.
So when I read this book, and I'm reading it, it's like a reference Bible because it's so many different facets. I joined the community of other people that are just like me. We talk, we share ideas. There's mental health, there's astrology consultations going on. People are doing music and they're doing art. It's a whole community of people out there like me. And I even see there's more people because I posted this video. I was merely sharing something on TikTok, and this is my most viral video that I've had to date. Like 300,000 views is crazy to me. But
Wow.
to see the responses of people going, "Oh my God, I feel so seen.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're talking about me. Oh my God." Like, I mean, so there's so many people that are out there like that. But like you said, society says, "Oh, you shouldn't, or you're doing the most. You need to tone it down." So when did I decide? I've always known that I was different. The older I got, I started appreciating my uniqueness. And I love that word unique now because Beyonce, so she ain't making new. Everybody knew unique was a
Right.
thing, but we all alien superstars for real.
Yeah.
Um, and before it was accepted, I knew that was the case. But me being my real, authentic, unapologetic self, I would say that happened within maybe the last 2 years, for me, really just saying, this is who I am. I must own this.
Hmm.
And I don't owe anybody any apologies for what I do. I don't owe anybody really any explanation. I don't need validation from anybody or approval.
Right.
I don't need applause. Like, I'm going to be this because this is who the creator made me to be.
Right.
And I have to be that. I have no choice. If I'm not that, then I may as well just lay down and just, go ahead and be, like they call it, be unalive.
I
So,
love
yeah.
that. I mean, okay, so I looked up because I've heard the jack of all trades, right? And I heard someone really say the whole saying, but I didn't couldn't remember it, so I googled it. And it says a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one.
Hmm. Correct.
So, when people say don't be a jack of all trades, that's failure, but really it's not failure.
Right. Exactly.
It's just because, see, I think what I found within myself, because as I have grown, I'm like, whoa, I can go in so many different directions here. Like, all
Hmm.
these different ideas are popping up in my head, and I'm writing them down, one by one. But what I realized about me is that you get overwhelmed with so much, and then I would clam up, right? And so then I
And then
realized
nothing will get done.
nothing would get done. And so
Right.
what I realize is the success is when you actually move forward, and just so my thing is like, what I would tell people is choose one thing, do that one thing, but then as you do that one thing, something else going to pop up. But because you've already overcome like the fear of doing, like, because
Right.
you, like, for me, like, I didn't think that I was going to be hosting a radio show or putting something like this together, right? I did not imagine this for myself. But
Right.
I moved to Charlotte, so I did this one thing. I moved to Charlotte, and then within 5 days I get this opportunity.
Alignment. You
A
it's
lot.
it's
Right.
it's shifting into where you are meant to be when you have asked, and you're asking, somehow you're asking the universe, you're asking God, okay, I want all these opportunities to appear. And then because you have put yourself in a place of
Right.
being in that quote unquote vortex, to borrow the word from Abraham Hicks, because
Right.
you put yourself in a place, it's going to stick to you like a magnet because it's who you are. It's what
Right.
belongs to you.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and to agree with you, it's like, so for me, it's just now, oh, so instead of saying I'm not a radio host, or I'm not a podcaster, or I'm not this, I'm not, I just have said, okay,
And
this too.
right.
Okay.
Also,
And also, this is
right.
what's happening.
And
So,
don't be afraid of that. And like, not again, because society will make us do one thing if we feel like we have to do what they do. And ultimately people project their insecurities onto us because
yes,
they don't feel adequate enough
yes,
to do certain things. So they go, oh, you're doing too much, because they think you're doing too much because they're not doing enough.
right.
That's what it comes
That's
down to. So
powerful. That's
yeah,
powerful.
you know,
It's
and I
powerful.
like think so, it's almost like again, being that magnet. I'm so sorry, or being a duck. You want to squirt me with water, I'm a duck. Your projections just roll right off of me. It's like,
Right,
thank you so much, but like, ooh, I'm dry. You tried to wet me, sorry, you know.
right.
And when you can be that again, authentically, and be that,
Hmm.
you become in alignment with what you are supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing. Opportunities show up at your doorstep, and you like, oh my God, I did think about this, or you were being groomed all along. Hello.
Right. And I mean, because I was on Taste Test Live, and, and I thought this is a safe place because I'm a co host, so hey, it's a team effort. And you know, and I realized as I started like putting together the concept for the show, all these different things, I go, Lord, I was in training.
Yeah.
You're a sneaky bugger.
Right, exactly. He's like, And
Definitely.
I saw something in you. Like, I mean, when I interviewed you as my guest on the radio show, like I told you, it was something about our camaraderie as just friends. And I was even getting to know you then. I didn't know you as
Right.
well
Yeah,
as I do
definitely.
now, but just hearing us talk and then going, gosh. And I thought, I said, you know what? I need a little bit of estrogen. I got too much testosterone on this show. I
Right.
got to have a little balance. And you represented the ladies. You represented the power of the Black woman. You represented the voice of the Black woman, and that's what I wanted to, what to round it out, and not to borrow from my friends over at the Breakfast Club.
Right.
Angela Yee's moving on. She's got her own stuff coming up, so she
Right.
leaving fellow. Yeah, so it is again becoming an alignment, and things happen. There's seasons for everything. We are still friends. COVID just messed taste test up. It did. And opportunity for me, I feel like with that, I was a little knocked back because I wasn't prepared adequately enough to be able to start in home recording. I didn't have the equipment. I have the equipment now. I
Right.
got the great Shure microphones now. But then I wasn't prepared, and it again, preparation, I think, is key when opportunity does knock. I think the definition is like when success is when preparation and opportunity meet.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have success if you don't have preparation and opportunity. So if you don't
Right.
prepare when the opportunity comes, you will not be successful. You'll be
Yeah.
somewhere, but you won't be successful.
Well,
So yeah.
speaking of that, are you gonna bring back Taste Test Live? Like, what are your aspirations? Because you are an
Yeah.
author now. I mean, I went to your website and I was like, where do I start?
And that's the point. And that's that
I
I
was like,
wanted my
where do
website to be
do
that.
I meditate?
That is so good.
I was like, do I meditate? Do I chant?
I know there were those
Do I read?
elevation.
Do I read the book? Do I listen to the music with the book? Like,
And
you
it's
gotta
funny
let
because like I toiled with, okay, am I putting too much for people out there? But people are going to gravitate to what they feel they're going to get from you, what they feel like they need. For
right.
me, I cannot deny that I know how to do affirmations. Like I love affirmations. I'm a spiritual person. I love music. Yes, I'm an author. Will I be doing taste test again? I have contemplated it, and I may as a special something maybe. But right now, making MJ, my favorite thing is writing. Like I started writing, and once I started and made a commitment to write at least 3 pages a day, sometimes I'm like, I don't know why I can't go to sleep. I've written 15, 16 pages and I got to go to bed. And that's why I have a novel of over 400 pages.
Is this the
And
first book? Is this
this is my very
the
first
first
book.
volume?
I mean, I've written an ebook, and a graphic ebook with like 11 pages. I've been writing blogs all along, which
Right.
I overdue like 10 weeks of writing blogs. I'm sure people like, I was about time he sat down, but I had other things happening in my life. But with this book, I'm excited. I got to the point where I fell in love with my characters. I finally understood why all this time I had all this electronic music that was so weird. I was really creating the soundtrack to the film version. So I'm actually
Mm,
reading a book right now on screenplaying. So it is going to
wow.
go from a book to a screenplay. That's where I'm going with this.
I
I'm going to shop it to Amazon Prime. I'm shopping it to Netflix
yes.
because I am thinking big. I'm dreaming big. It is big. The audience is there for it. Time travel is starting to be a thing where people are like, oh, what is this? Quantum Leap is back. Remember Scott Bakula back in
Yes.
the
I watched
well,
the first
he's
episode.
not back, but it's a new guy, and they're doing
Right.
that now. And I'm like, okay, so this is kind of telling me that this is coming around, and what I'm talking about, there's a place for it, but
Yeah.
I'm doing it from a position where I'm encouraging young people to start writing. And I'm going to have prompts that I'll give people and images and say, here's the image, here is the character, this is the story. I want you to submit your story and you get paid for it. So I've already started that process. That's after the book comes out, people will start feeling like they understand, and they're going to feel like, okay, after they read each chapter, wait, why did you end like that? Why did you leave
Yeah.
off? Because
Yeah.
I want the discussion to be there, and I want people to say, I'm going to finish that. I'm going to write. You didn't tie that up. I need to write that. I need to write about that. And I want to encourage a community of young, exciting writers. October, as a matter of fact, is coming up, and here we are at Black Speculative Fiction Month. And
Oh,
I'm going to be,
really?
yes, I'm highlighting all the Black fiction authors. I already got it all ready to go. Like it's happening because we had never had a voice as Black people in sci-fi.
Yeah.
You never heard Black people talk about time travel. Come on, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it just didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there's an avenue for it. My characters are Kemetic, which is ancient Egypt. They're originally from Egypt, and they're Black, and not like Cleopatra, who was really not Black. She was Macedonian or Greek. Most people don't know that. And I'm doing it where I want people to understand history, but also challenge the system. Why do we have this propensity to keep burning books, to squelch knowledge? Why do we keep doing that? And I'm just excited about this new chapter. But again, keeping the main thing right now, my main thing is my work in the financial services industry, which I love my role and I love what I do,
Right. Right.
and it allows me the opportunity to write.
Yeah.
And my focus now is going to be like, no more music. I've done the music. Now I'm going to shop this music, and I'm going to have, I'll be working with composers to take that music that I've created to translate it into something a little bit more organic. So it's not as synthetic. It doesn't sound as, like, electric. I want it to sound more symphonic,
Yeah.
and I'll be doing that and pushing this book. That's my goal. I want to be a New York bestseller. I can already see the line wrapping around the building and all of my signings. I
I
see
think it's beautiful. No.
I think now is the time to put the spotlight on Black authors, Black writers. It is our time to tell our story. Our story has been told way too long by other
Right.
people,
Yeah.
or not told at all.
Right.
And I think now is our time to tell the story. And in my case, I have taken something that nobody ever talks about, and I've created a whole world around something that really, really happened, just so that I can put the focus on that, because I feel like the world has shunned everybody away. Like, don't pay any attention. Yeah, those books, 70,000 books or 70,000 scrolls, and oh, there's only a couple left, and we burned the library down. It happened, but why?
Right.
So what is it that you're burning? Why do you have the propensity to continually destroy knowledge? Why, when civilizations become really, really advanced, naturally and organically, do we want to go and, excuse my French, tear the shit up?
Right.
Why? So yeah, and I just feel like I want to create some dialogue and get young people excited about writing.
Well, I think it's so fascinating, because you talked about bringing Black voices to this area, and I mean to this particular genre, and expanding our voice and
Yeah,
showing it from our perspective. And it's like John Boyega, who was in
yeah.
Star Wars, right?
Mhm.
So he recently did an interview with the Breakfast Club, and they asked him, would he ever do another Breakfast Club interview? And he said, do another Star Wars movie. Like, was he going to be in the next one? And he said, no, I'd never do one again. My contract is up, and I wouldn't go back. And so they
Oh
asked
wow.
him why, and he said because he thought when they brought him on that they were going to do what you're talking about, bring more attention to the Black voice in the realm of sci-fi, and what a franchise to do it in Star Wars. But he said he ended up just being, what do you call it, like a token, like
Typecast.
typecast. And
Have to get a Black face for this
right,
role.
because he was like, because they put him all over these posters. And they really made, he was the poster boy. And he said, but that's all I was. He said he thought, okay, year one, he was kind of disappointed. His role was very light, but he
Mhm.
thought, but then, and then year two, the role was still very, and so he said that's when it hit him that, oh, they don't plan on giving me more
Right, right.
and expanding it. So I think what you're speaking on as far as our voice in this genre, is amazing, and I'm excited because you told me when you described for me, I was in like 30 minutes you were talking to me about this book, and literally I was picturing things, and I was asking you questions like, I want to see this jump. I want to see her in this, the character in this man's body, and I want to see all these things. And so you have your book, you have composition of music that you're going to send off to somebody else. What else? And then you also have your financial services. But what else is going on? Like, I mean, you, all these balls in the air. What other balls do you have that you're going
It's interesting because for a long time, and I'm learning, and it took me a while to learn some observation that I had in the last 10 weeks. So I can't let this go without saying I'm going to shout out my baby sister Alana Bell.
Yes, I didn't. Well, I didn't bring it up because I didn't know if you.
Yeah, I'm good at okay enough to talk about it now, but I spent my summer in Florida pre-hurricane, and
Yeah.
right, it was the most difficult season of my life. And during this time, I had an opportunity to reflect on who I was as a person, who I wanted to be, to my family, what I would accept and what I would allow, how I would allow people to treat me. And all of this, the reason I'm bringing all this up, I feel like what it came to a head was that Damien, I talked about this on a TikTok recently. I literally had a vision of a farmer that was always in the field, just popping them seeds, and they just hit the whole farm. And he's sitting there going, "Oh, look at this crop. Crops growing, seeds in the ground, but he's still out there in the field, sowing seeds, right?"
Yeah.
At some point, as a farmer, you have to take an opportunity to walk away from planting. Seed time,
Hmm.
for Genesis 8:22 says, and as well as the earth remains, he giveth the sower seed time, and harvest, winter and autumn, summer and spring, and as long as the earth will be here. That's going to happen, right?
Right. Right.
So we need to come out. Those of us that are always in the field, sowing seeds, because we've been taught to do, work,
Right.
go. That is a response from trauma. Deal
Yeah.
with the trauma, and you don't have to be in the field all the time. You can reap some of the harvest, because that stuff, you got to go out there in the field,
Listen.
reap your harvest. You don't need to be planting seeds all the time.
Listen. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You are hitting on something so powerful, because literally moving to Charlotte, and you know, um, by the time my family sees this, I'll be wealthy and it won't matter.
From
But
your mouth to God's ear, I love it.
correct. So, but when I came here, I had to I resigned. I had to resign from my job
Yeah.
of 16 years, right? And so then you think about it, 16 years, 1 + 6 is 7. That's the number of completion. That is when things are being ended, it is being completed. I didn't, and so I was
It's a divine
very
number that cannot be divided.
right. And I was so nervous. I was so concerned, because I was so used to planting seeds, but I was planting seeds in other people's fields, in other people's gardens for 16 years.
Who are now reaping harvest of the seeds you've sown,
Correct.
not your garden.
Right. And so this is hitting me so hard. This is hitting me the way it is because, what God is saying to me right now, the Spirit is saying to me is, girl, I'm getting you to plant in your own garden
Yes.
because you've been planting in other people's gardens for so long. And
Yes.
so to even have to, he pulled you out of Jacksonville so that you could plant in your own garden. I mean, when
Right.
you think of, he pulled me out of Jacksonville so that I could plant in my. Now that's not for everybody,
Right.
where the physically have to be removed, but I had to be physically removed. You had to be physically removed and
Mhm.
separated in order to see things a certain way. And this is something that me and one of my friends on a couple of weeks ago, the second episode of my show was about, we were talking about survival, always being in surviving mode, always being in a
Trauma,
place where,
trauma response.
right, um, always being in, wait, no, actually, I did it in last week's episode, always being in a place of I gotta make it through, I gotta make it, I gotta get this paycheck, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. And so you're always on edge. You're always on the edge of fear, on the edge of anxiety, on the edge of nervousness. And so when I looked up, okay, what's the opposite of survival? And it's thriving.
Hmm.
And when I started researching what does it mean to thrive, what does that mean exactly? And thriving means that you are actually in a place of peace. This is me paraphrasing, but some of the
Yeah.
key elements of thriving is acceptance,
Yes.
acceptance of self first and foremost, and acceptance of others. So
Yes.
you're in a place of so you live in abundance when you're thriving.
Yes. Yes. I'm going to add something else too, because the biggest thing is, again, I think, and I'm sure some other people of different persuasions may see this, but this is for the Black people.
Right.
We have to stop doing the most. Even though I'm telling you how to be everything, and that you
Right.
could be a multi-potentialite and you can do all these things, we have been programmed to, if you don't work, you don't eat. You've heard that, right? If you need to do this, you got to hustle, hustle, hustle. I'm in hustle, it's hustle and grind mode. I got to get that bag. I got to get all of these things are trauma responses. In my case, I was buying things and just buying electronics and buying things that my mom was a single mother. She did the best she could. She raised me. I went to school, went off to college, went off to corporate America, had a job, right? I learned a lot of things from her, but the things that she couldn't give me, the minute I got some money, I got to go buy this, or I got to go do trauma response. I'm going to say, once we deal with the trauma, when we deal with it head on, and we realize all the seeds that we've sown, all
Yeah.
those things we put in the ground, seed, time, and then what's next?
Harvest.
Chill out. Harvest time is coming, but if you always in the field putting seeds in the ground, you'll never have an opportunity to go get your harvest. Getting a harvest requires thriving, relaxing, resting, taking care of yourself, your
Yes.
mind, your body first. I find that the more I rest and the more I relax and the less I do, the more I get.
Yes.
The more comes to me. It just comes naturally. I'm minding my own business. I got a job while I was on vacation.
Listen.
I get clients on my Christmas break. You know what I'm saying? Like when you chill
Yeah.
and you're not thinking about it, because when you sow the seeds, and this is about manifestation, you sow the seed. You say, okay, I want this. I affirm this. When you affirm it, why you keep affirming it? All the
Listen.
things that you've asked for, all those seeds that you've sown, they exist already. You, like we were talking about being in vibration, you have
Right.
to be in vibrational alignment to match what it is that you've asked for.
Right.
What you want is right here, but you over here doing things and doing the most and hanging out with John, Dick, and Harry, and hanging out and doing
Right.
all this other stuff. But what you want is right here. But when you chill, the alignment happens. When you let go, the alignment happens.
Right.
That's what happened with me over the last 10 weeks. I
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of time to reflect. I
Yeah.
had a lot of time. I mean, I dealt with something that I think was the most difficult thing that I had to do in my life to date.
Right.
Burying a relative, especially somebody younger, is not easy.
Right.
And then handling their financial affairs, being the son, taking care of my mom when she needed. My mom took a major fall and face planted. She was getting out of her recliner. She lost her balance and went with her glasses on and went huge hematoma on her left head and two black eyes. And she didn't even remember what like the details. She called me from the ER. Can you come pick me up? And I saw my mom's face and I just started crying because I've never seen my mama like that.
Wow.
Oh, like you look like you've been in a fight with Mike Tyson
Wow.
in the fourth bout. I mean, it's like, what happened? And she grief and a bunch of other things, but it's like I just learned a lot about myself and I learned a lot about what I'm going to tolerate, how I'm going to move forward with people. And I can see people for who they are. I see
Right.
like I got one eye open, and it's I don't mean to be facetious, but it's just you
Right.
see that. And I just know that, especially when your energy is everything. I'm not going to give everybody doesn't deserve my time. Everybody does, because
Right.
again, that's sowing seeds. Everybody don't deserve me sowing a seed into them.
Yes. Because every time we give our energy to something, we're sowing a seed.
Every
Every
time.
time. Every time we give it attention, and like somebody posted on Facebook, this artist, Sherrod Brown, in Jacksonville, he posted that he is just learning that he is not supposed to match energy. That we are not so if somebody's energy is low, you don't lower your
Yeah,
you they have to come up to where you are, you
that's
know.
it.
And when he said that, I said, yeah, I was like, no, we are not supposed to match energies. Like, because it was a big thing a couple of, like, some years ago, and people still say it. I'm just matching your energy. You give me, I'm gonna give you what you giving me. But I think as we understand energy, understand our own energy, understand that it's real, and realize, no, if I match your energy, then I'm lowering myself, and that
Especially
is
if you're
not
vibrating at a low frequency,
right.
especially.
And that is not something to be praised. But I want to go back to what you were talking about as far as sowing seeds and getting an alignment, because and I was like, oh my God, praising God, because today, for next week's show, which is show before this one's gonna go up, I talk about mindsets.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
as I started talking, I realized, so it hit me, our in order for us, we have these desires and these wants. It's just like you said when you talk about the vortex. We have these desires and these wants, and they're waiting for us, right? We haven't been denied these things, you know. But if our mindset is not aligned to that thing, mean, like,
Hmm.
we have to switch our mindsets. Like, when I first got here to Charlotte, I was I was in the shower, and I feel like the spirit talks to me a lot in the shower, because
Oh
water
yes.
is a portal, right?
Yes.
Water
Oh
is a
yes.
portal. It's a thing. And so as I'm taking my shower, I hear this voice saying, Megan, you can make this whatever you want it to be. It is all up to you and what
That's
you
right.
decide this
You
is.
create your reality. Yes, ma'am. It's just, I mean, for me, it's learning who I am on a spiritual level. I have to do that because
Right.
we're spirit beings having a human experience. And if you don't know who you are spiritually, what kind of human experience are you having? Hmm.
Flip.
Right? So it's important to know who you are in the spirit. It's important to know that spiritual side of you. And that spiritual side of you is always ever present. It's always here. Everything you need is already here. You know, there's a guy on TikTok. Everything that I want, I already have. Everything that I need, you know, you probably heard it because
Yes.
my reality is created by me, right? Everything that I want, I already have. Everything that I need, I already have. It's already here now, right now. And when we, as a society and as a people, learn that, we could become present and we stay in that place of gratitude, what a place mentally will be. We won't be as anxious.
Yeah. Yeah.
We won't be as just like frenetic about what's
Yeah.
what's going to come, because we're living now and we're appreciating now. Not saying that your now time is going to be easy. There's going to be some times that now time is going to be rough, but now does not always, that those times in that moment, it's now time, but it's not going to always be hard and it's not
Right.
going to always be easy. But when whatever you receive in that moment is for that moment. It's a lesson for that moment. Receive it as such. That's it.
Well, thank you so much for that beautiful message. I mean, what a way to end this interview. And this is going to be viewed by people in Patreon when I launch my page. And so I'm so excited for, for the people a part of the A.L.I.E.Nation community on that side to get to hear all these secret nuggets, because I think this is so important for us to continue to push forward in our lives and how to live authentically. If we're not present with ourselves, there's no possible way that we can live authentically. And there's no
That's it.
possible way, that we can do that. So, anyway, tell everybody how we can find you. Where is Damian Lamar? Website, social media, all of it.
Yeah. So I am Damien Lamar on social, on Instagram and TikTok. It's I am DAMIENLAMAR, Damien Lamar. On Twitter, just Damien Lamar. And you can go to DamienLamar.com for all things for the Damien Lamar universe.
Yes.
It is a universe. It's a whole experience on a mobile device. I have it where you can kind of enjoy it one way, and if you're on a desktop computer, you can enjoy it another way. Spend some time on my website. Contact me. I have a contact form. People actually write me and message me through that contact
That's
form, and
awesome.
I respond. Not a rep or an agent. I'm the guy. So be nice when you send something. Ask me anything you want. As you see, I do engage with everybody that comments on my TikTok and on my social media. I'm that guy. I run my own platform. And it's an honor. I wish you the best with A.L.I.E.Nation.
Thank you.
And I am so happy that you included me. And I'm happy to be able to share my little bit of information that I have up here with everybody else. But I feel like the last thing I want to say to you guys is make a conscious choice about the moves you're going to make before you make them, which means you need to be intentional, and intentional meaning being present, but make a conscious choice. Okay.
Okay.
Go and then move
Yes.
and then watch what happens.
Yay. Thank you so much.
I
I
love you.
can't wait for everybody to see it. I love you too.